And welcome back. It's the Gusto Radio Show, Power Talk 1460 and 101 FM. Mark Carbonero and David Marzetti with you Saturday night at the Ristorante Gusto, handcrafted pasta and pizzeria, 1901 Fremont Boulevard in Seaside, right here at the corner of LaSalle. And David Marzetti, we have a special guest joining us now. Tell us about her.
Yes, indeed we do. As a matter of fact, she's an author, and that's not all, but that's one of the things that we're here to talk to her about this evening. Kyle Elizabeth Wood is here with us this evening, and she's got this wonderful book about Tillie Lewis. A lot of you may not recognize that name, but Kyle is here to talk to us and tell us all about Tillie. So, Kyle, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you, guys. It's wonderful to be here.
Yeah, it's wonderful to have you. Tell us about your book. How did this happen?
Well, how did this happen is, dare I say, as every author says, is in the book.
David's going to lift your mic up a little bit for you so we can get you right on microphone, and
only because we have all
can
this
hear you.
ambient noise going on here.
Yeah, that way that everybody can really hear you as we... There we go. Now, if you get right about that far from the mic is all you need to be.
Okay.
Perfect.
Does that work?
Yes.
Are we good?
You're good. You're great.
Fantastic. Tillie Lewis was the first female captain of industry in the United States. And because she had the, misluck, as it were, to be a woman, she's been forgotten to history.
And this is during what years?
Well, she was born in 1896, and as a girl after my own heart, her cemetery plot says 1901, and she was more creative with her age than, I am. So that's kind of wonderful about her. She was born in 1896 in Brooklyn, New York, in the Jewish tenements. Absolutely abject poverty. So her goal in life, unlike we see captains of industry who have a tendency to consider wealth. How much wealth can I accumulate? Tillie was about not being poor. So that's what she brought with her throughout her wealth-making success journey. Being a Jewish girl and Orthodox didn't work so well for Dad. Dad was not happy that she was born liberated. So while in 1896, other young ladies were considering suffragettes and looking for the vote, Tillie always had it. She just did whatever she wanted, showed up when she wanted to, and did exactly as she chose.
Wow. Tell us how you got involved in this, though. How did you get this interest to write this book?
Well, I went back to school after my own children grew up. So I referred to myself as the geezer chick. And I had to, it was like one of those wonderful movies where you got to relive your youth, because I could wear the same pair of blue jeans every single day after day, and listen to the little girlies talk about their design. I said, mine are from Walmart. It was just fantastic. But I went back to school late in life, and that's something I like to encourage other women to do, and other men, as a matter of fact, to go back and live your dreams. It doesn't matter how old you are. Go back and do that. So while I was doing that, I kept passing by a theater called the Tillie Lewis Theater. So naturally, I assumed it must be an actress. Meanwhile, my husband, who has now passed away, Richard Williams, was in the can manufacturing business. It's a long story. It's in the book. But I did get an idea from him to choose, I thought, one thing that would get me through to my PhD. If I could take one subject rather than 1,000 that they ask you to write to go all the way through, I picked Tillie Lewis on his suggestion because he had worked for her company 2 years after she passed away, and already she'd been forgotten because, goodness, after all, she was only a woman and
I know, that's too bad.
A Jew.
Yeah, that's too bad.
Right. So that's how it works. But we today have the power of the pen and our own focus and determination that I learned from researching her. to go after what I wanted, and what I wanted to do is find out what the heck was really going on with Tillie Lewis. How did she end up with plant after plant? There's miles and acres in the Stockton, Modesto area that say Tillie Lewis this, Tillie Lewis that, Tillie Lewis Theater, Tillie Lewis, Tillie Lewis everything. And nobody knew who she was.
So the theater was in the Stockton, Modesto area.
Right, in San Joaquin Delta College, which is wonderful. Love you.
Okay. And her business was there in the Stockton area?
She began an agribusiness in 1932. It failed in Merced.
Uh-huh.
She brought it, and that's something that's for Gusto, and that we were discussing, is she brought the Pomodoro. I'm getting pizza delivered.
Wow, how about that?
We never get that, Mark.
Holy Toledo, look at that.
It's not yours, by the way. Just so you guys... He's
believe us.
more
We know
plates.
we don't ever get anything.
I'll share, but... Yes.
Well, actually, we do get something. A couple weeks ago, we had a poke in the eye with a sharp stick.
I forgot about that.
about it.
Now we have pizza. So
about that?
I ordered pizza because I thought, this is San Marzano pizza sauce
Exactly.
that Tillie Lewis brought from.
Exactly.
Please, do I want Parmesan? Yes. How do you say it correctly? Say it to the radio.
Parmesan.
Say it here. Say it right.
Right into the...
Say it big.
Parmesan.
Parmesan, like that.
That's...
We want to hear it the right way. But
Kyle, I wanted to ask you.
yes, sir.
She was born in Brooklyn,
Yes.
and she grew up in Brooklyn.
Yes.
How did she end up in Stockton? How does a Jewish girl born in Brooklyn end up in Stockton,
Isn't
California?
that wonderful? Thank you for asking.
Because she wasn't an Okie from Oklahoma, like a lot of folks that ended up there.
Exactly, but she was, we're skipping ahead because you mentioned that with the Dust Bowl, she was the open door if the Okies and the Arkies got here for the Dust Bowl and ended up in Stockton, California. Because Tillie Lewis was treated with anti-Semitism and other ugly things, she was welcoming every single human being, man or woman, gender didn't matter, faith didn't matter. Just, were you a hard worker and were you loyal? Those are the two things she wanted to know. She wanted hard work. She hired the greatest generation, and she knew it at the time. So the people that were her workers kept shrines to her. And when I became involved in 2002, I had people going, thank you. Tillie had been dead 30 years. Thank you for showing up. It's time this great woman, not a minor woman, a great woman was finally memorialized somehow and brought back, resurrected. So back to the Brooklyn thing. She's in Brooklyn. She's not going to be poor. She's doing what every focused individual should be doing. That's not sticking to one idea. She thought to herself, I'm not going to be poor. What can I do? She's in New York. She's also beautiful. If you look at the back of the book, that is a good-looking woman. So she knew that at the time. So a little company that she knew about in Manhattan. Because keep in mind, New York has every mode of transportation imaginable, and it's cheap. So
right.
A poor girl from Brooklyn could hop on any ding-dang thing. Well, she showed up at the ripe old age of 15 in a little place called the Ziegfeld Follies.
Oh, okay.
So she showed up and got a part, changed her name because her family would have been absolutely horrified.
So from Myrtle Ehrlich, she became Tillie Lewis.
She was Tillie Lewis to begin with.
Oh, okay.
Because nobody wants to be Myrtle.
Yeah.
Just saying, for parents looking at baby books, nobody wants to be Myrtle.
or Hazel.
Yeah.
Okay.
And make it the middle name, not the first name.
Exactly.
You have to
One of
do
the
it.
things that's interesting too is that it seems like Tillie was what they now have this word empowered before the word even existed. She
Right.
was empowered.
Yeah, she was empowered. The family said she was born liberated. So back to what she did, I'll try to make it quick. She is at the Ziegfeld Follies. Turns out she